Good evening, dear friend. Wherever you are tonight, maybe lying in bed or watching the moonlight through your window, welcome back. Tell me in the comments, where are you listening from? And what time is it there? I love reading your messages from around the world. Tonight, we travel to the ancient world of 1001 Nights, where Queen Scheherazade told stories of wonder and magic to a sleepless king. Tales of flying carpets, hidden treasures, and genies in golden lamps await you beneath the desert stars. So take a deep breath, let your heart grow calm, and listen as our story begins. 1001 Nights in the ancient chronicles of the Sassanid dynasty, rulers of mighty Persia, whose power once reached across India, its countless isles, and even to the distant lands beyond the river Ganges, stretching toward China. It is written that there once lived a king whose wisdom and courage made his name shine across the world. His people loved him for his justice and prudence. Neighboring realms respected him for his glory and feared him for the strength and discipline of his armies. This great king had two sons. The elder was named Shahryar, destined to inherit the throne. The younger, Shahzaman, was no less noble in virtue or in mind. When, after a long and glorious reign, the old king passed into the peace of his ancestors, Shahryar ascended the throne. By the law of the land, Shahzaman was not to share the rule, but live as a prince without dominion. Yet he bore no envy in his heart. Instead, he sought to serve and honor his brother. The elder king, moved by such loyalty, resolved to reward it. Out of love, he divided part of his empire and made his brother sovereign of the realm of Great Tartary. Shahzaman journeyed there and established his court in the splendid city of Samarkand, the jewel of the East. 10 years passed. Then one day, longing to see his beloved brother, King Shahryar sent forth an embassy to invite him home. He chose his grand vizier to lead the mission, a wise and noble man who departed at once with a retinue fit for his station. When the envoy approached Samarkand, word reached King Shahzaman, who went out with his lords to greet him. The Tartary court appeared in all its finery, shining with gold and silks, as they welcomed the representative of the mighty Shahryar. With joy, Shahzaman embraced the vizier and asked of his brother's health. When the envoy had answered and spoken the purpose of his coming, the king was deeply moved. "Worthy vizier," said he, "my brother grants me an honor beyond measure. No summons could delight me more. If he desires to see me, I am no less eager to stand before him. Time has not dimmed the bond between us. My lands are at peace, my duties well ordered. In 10 days, I shall be ready to depart. Rest here meanwhile. There is no need for you to enter the city for so short a stay. I will command that tents be raised, and that fresh fruit and gifts be brought for you and your companions." The orders were carried out at once. Before the vizier could even settle himself, servants arrived with baskets of food, fine wine, and rare delicacies fit for kings. Meanwhile, Shah-Zaman prepared for his journey. He settled the affairs of state, appointed a council to rule in his absence, and placed at its head a minister of great integrity. On the 10th day, all was ready. That evening, the king took leave of his queen and departed the palace with his escort. He rested for the night in a royal pavilion set beside the vizier's camp. They spoke together until midnight. Then, yearning for one last moment with his beloved wife, the king quietly returned alone to the palace. But what awaited him there struck the heart like a dagger. For as he entered the royal chamber, he found his queen, whom he believed faithful, in the arms of a lowly servant from the household. Beneath the soft light of the ever-burning lamps, the two lay entwined, lost in slumber. The king stood frozen, doubting his own sight. Yet there was no mistake. "By heaven," he whispered, "I have not yet left my city, and already I am betrayed. Wretch, your crime cannot go unpunished. As king, I must root out wickedness. As a wronged husband, I must have justice." In silence and fury, he drew his sword, approached the bed, and with one swift stroke, ended their lives. Then, taking the bodies, he cast them into the deep moat surrounding the palace. Without a word to any soul, he left as quietly as he had come and returned to his camp. Before dawn broke, he gave the order to march. Drums thundered, trumpets rang out. The court rejoiced at their king's departure, all but the king himself. For through every mile of the journey, sorrow shadowed him. His heart was heavy with betrayal. At last, as the caravan neared the Indian capital, Shahryar came forth in splendor, surrounded by his full court, to welcome his brother. How great their joy at meeting again! They dismounted, embraced with tears and laughter, and rode together into the city amid the cheers of the people. They passed through a magnificent garden adjoining the royal palace, a place of festivals and ceremonies, now adorned more splendidly than ever to honor their reunion. King Saria took leave of his brother, the king of Tartary, that he might bathe and change his garments. Yet scarcely had the younger king stepped from his chamber when the elder returned. The two brothers seated themselves upon a wide couch, and while the courtiers stood respectfully at a distance, they spoke long together, as brothers do who have been bound not only by blood, but by affection deepened through long separation. When the hour of supper came, they ate side by side, and when the meal was ended, their conversation flowed on until night grew heavy and the candles burned low. At last Saria rose, wishing his brother peaceful rest, and withdrew to his palace. But the sorrowful King Shahzaman, for that was the younger's name, found no peace in sleep. Though the presence of his brother had, for a brief while, softened his grief, now the ache within his heart returned with cruel force. The memory of the queen's betrayal rose before him like a ghost that would not be banished. He tossed upon his bed, unable to close his eyes. At length, wearied by thoughts too bitter to bear, he rose again. Morning found his face pale and troubled, so that King Saria could not fail to notice it. "What ails my brother, the king of Tartary?" he thought. "Who has cast such a shadow upon his brow? Can he be displeased with my welcome? Surely not. I have received him as a beloved brother. Perhaps he mourns his distance from home or from his queen. If that is so, I shall ease his longing." And so, the very next day, the emperor ordered that the most splendid gifts be brought forth, treasures, rare and wondrous, from every corner of India, hoping to gladden the heart of his brother. Each day he commanded new diversions, music, feasts, and games of delight. Yet none of these pleasures could lift the cloud from Shahzaman's soul. One morning, King Saria proclaimed a great royal hunt 2 days' journey from the city, in a forest teeming with deer. Shahzaman begged to be excused, claiming illness and weariness. His brother, unwilling to press him, departed with the court, leaving the younger king alone within the palace. Shahzaman sat by a window that overlooked the royal gardens. It was a place of beauty, trees heavy with fruit, fountains that sang softly, and birds whose bright feathers gleamed in the sun. Yet the sight brought him no joy. His heart, chained by memory, could find no rest. He gazed not upon the garden, but toward the heavens, lamenting the cruel fate that had made him so unhappy. Then, quite suddenly, his eyes caught something strange. A secret door in the emperor's palace opened silently, and from it came 20 women. At their head, the queen herself, whose majesty was unmistakable. Believing that the king of Tartary had gone hunting, she advanced boldly toward his chamber. Shahzaman, curious and unseen, stepped back into the shadows, watching through the half-open lattice. He saw the women lift their veils and cast aside their long robes, revealing beneath them the bright garments of dancers. To his astonishment, 10 of them were no women at all, but dark-skinned men disguised among them, each running to embrace his chosen companion. The queen clapped her hands and cried, "Masood! Masood!" And from the branches of a tall tree descended another man, who hastened to her side. What followed, modest ears need not hear. It is enough to say that what the king witnessed left no doubt of the queen's faithlessness. Their revels lasted until midnight. Then, all together, they bathed in the wide marble pool within the garden, a place of beauty now profaned by shame. When the waters grew still, they clothed themselves again, slipped through the secret door, and vanished back into the palace. Masood, the queen's dark lover, climbed once more over the wall and disappeared into the night. Shah-Zaman stood motionless, overwhelmed by what he had seen. At last he murmured, "How foolish I have been to think my misfortune was mine alone. Truly, this is the fate of all husbands. For even the great emperor, master of 1,000 lands, is not spared. Then why should I waste my heart in grief over a sorrow so common to mankind?" From that moment, the king's spirit grew calm. The bitterness that had haunted him melted away. He called for supper and ate with appetite for the first time since leaving Samarkand. The songs and music that filled the evening pleased his ears once more. And before the candles burned out, peace, gentle and quiet as sleep, returned at last to his heart. Over the next few days, Sadonang was a bright and cheerful soul. When he heard that the emperor had returned from the hunt, he went out to greet him, and, with a refreshed mien, offered the king his congratulations. At first, Saria did not notice the change in his brother. The emperor was still busy lamenting that his brother had not accompanied him on the expedition. Before Sadonang could reply, the king hurried on to boast of the large number of stags and other wild beasts taken, and to tell again the delights of the hunt. Having listened closely, Sadonang at last began to speak. No longer burdened by the heavy sorrow that had once clouded his wit, he now told a string of clever and engaging tales. The emperor had expected to find his brother still shrouded in the same melancholy as when they parted, and so he was greatly pleased to see him so merry. "My dear brother," said the king, "I thank heaven that you have shown such a welcome change while I was away. I am truly glad. Yet I have a request to make of you, and I hope you will grant what I am about to ask." "What is there you would deny me?" returned King Takhtari. "To you, Sadonang, I hold all authority. Speak, then. I am eager to know what you would have me do." "Since you came to my court," Saria answered, "I have seen you always glooming. I have tried every distraction and entertainment in vain. I thought perhaps your sadness came from homesickness. Sometimes I suspected it was that you missed the Empress Zamakang, that woman you chose as your queen, surely of surpassing beauty. And so your mind fell into brooding. I cannot say if my guess is right. Indeed, I have refrained from prying for fear of vexing you. Yet, though I had no hand in it, to return from the hunt and find you the happiest man alive, your spirit freed from the sorrow that once took all your daily cheer. Tell me, I beg you, why you were so troubled before, and how it is that you are now at peace. King Takhtari paused a moment, as if searching for the right words. At last, he replied, I am Emperor, your sovereign. Yet I beg you, spare me from answering that question. No, said the Emperor. You must answer. I desire it. Do not refuse. Caught by Saria's insistence, Sadonang consented. If it must be so, then, brother, as you command, I will obey. He then recounted the disgrace of Empress Zamakang. When he had finished, he added, That was the cause of my former sorrow. Judge me, brother. Was my conduct wrong? Oh, my poor brother, the Emperor cried, showing how deeply he understood the rage that had burned in Takhtari's heart. What a loathsome tale you have told. I scarce could hear it through. I praise you for punishing those traitors, those insolent scoundrels who dared to affront you so. No one can blame your deed. You acted with wisdom. As for me, in your place, I confess, I might not have restrained myself so. Perhaps I would not be content to slay but one woman. I think I might slay 1,000 before my madness were quelled. Now I am no longer surprised at your grief. The wound is bitter and humiliating. How could it not cast you into sorrow? Heaven, how strange a thing. No, I believe such a thing could never befall another. Yet at last, we must thank God that you have found some comfort. And because I trust your word, tell me plainly how you regained your calm. Confide in me, I beg you. This second question proved more vexing still, for it cut nearer to Sadonang's own secret. Yet at length, moved by the Emperor's entreaties, he yielded and said, I will obey you, since you so insist. I fear my obedience will trouble you even more than before. But mark me, blame no one but yourself, for it is you who have forced me to speak what I had wished to bury forever. Your words make me only more curious, Saria interrupted. Quick, reveal this secret to me at once, whatever it may be. Unable to refuse, King Takhtari told in full every detail he had witnessed: the black men in disguise, the Empress's behavior with her attendants, and he did not omit the name of Maksud. After seeing all these vile deeds, he said, I concluded that all women are of one stripe. They cannot resist their base desires. Such a thought awakened me. To find a man's peace of mind dependent on a woman's virtue seemed a most frail thing. That idea led me further, until finally I resolved there was no better remedy than to console myself. It was hard, but at last I overcame it. If you trust me, do likewise. Though the advice was sound, the emperor could not but be angry. "Impossible," he cried. "Could my chief empress of India fall so low? No, brother, I cannot accept your tale until I have seen it with my own eyes. You may have been mistaken. Besides, this is such an important matter that I must see and hear for myself before I can be certain. If you would like to see it, my lord, there is nothing difficult about it," she said. "You need only arrange another hunting expedition. When both of us ride out of the capital with the courtiers of our two realms, we will lodge at the hunting pavilion. And when night comes, the two of us will slip away to my private chamber. I am certain that on the morrow you will behold what I have seen." The emperor accepted her cunning plan, and at once ordered a new hunt to be prepared. By the next day, the pavilions had been raised at the appointed place. At dawn, the two kings rode forth with all their retinues. They made camp and remained there until evening. Then Saraya summoned the prime minister. Without revealing her purpose, the empress commanded that the prime minister act in the emperor's stead while they were away, and that no one be permitted to leave the camp for any reason whatsoever. Having given his orders, the emperor and King Takhtari mounted their horses and returned to the capital, to the palace of Sadanang. They went to bed. Early the next morning, they rose and sat by the window where the king of Takhtari had once glimpsed the dark deeds of those sable men. They breathed the cool air together, for the sun had not yet risen. They talked, and now and then glanced toward the secret door. At last, that door opened. I will tell in brief what followed. The empress appeared, accompanied by her attendants and 10 black men in disguise, and they cried aloud for Maksut. What the emperor saw there was enough to convince him utterly of his shame and his ruin. "Heavens!" the king cried. "How vile, how abominable, that a wife of an emperor such as I should commit such wickedness. After this, what ruler will boast himself wholly blessed? Oh, my brother." The emperor clasped King Takhtari and went on. "Let us abandon this life. All here is false, flattery now and treachery anon. Let us renounce crown and realm, all the gaudy splendor that surrounds us. Let us go to strange lands and drag out a shadowed life, hiding our grief." Sadonang did not approve of the emperor's resolve, yet he dared not withstand Saria whilst she raged. "My lord," he answered, "my mind does not differ from yours. I am ready to follow you whithersoever you will. But promise me that if on our journey we find any soul more wretched than ourselves, we will return. I promise this to you," answered the emperor. "Though I cannot believe there exists anyone more wretched than we." "I do not share your confidence," said King Takhtari. "Indeed, I think we shall not be gone long." So the two slipped secretly from the palace and took a road different from the one by which they had returned the day before. They traveled until nightfall, until at last they could no longer recognize the way. And so they slept their first night beneath the bough of a tree. At dawn, they continued until they came upon a fair meadow by the sea, where great trees cast deep shade. There they rested beside a trunk, enjoying the breeze and speaking of the unfaithfulness of empresses. They had not long been talking when, from the sea, not far from shore, there came a dreadful sound and a cry that chilled the blood. The face of the sea opened, and a vast black column rose from the waters up to the very clouds. The sight struck the two kings with terror. They sprang to their feet and climbed the most concealing tree they could find. When they had reached the top and looked toward the place whence the noise came, they saw the black pillar part the waves and move toward the land. At first, they could not tell what it was, but soon they perceived. It was one of those crafty, malicious fiends, mortal enemies of humankind. He was coal-black and hideous, a ruffian of monstrous size. On his head, he bore a great glass chest fastened with 4 iron locks. He set this chest down on the meadow, directly beneath the very tree where the two kings crouched. The kings understood at once that a dire calamity had come upon them and feared they were about to be slain. The fiend sat beside the chest, took from his belt 4 keys, unlocked it, and drew forth a woman, clothed in the richest attire, stately in bearing, and of surpassing beauty. The demon set her upon the grass, and gazed upon her with such love that he sighed. "Lady fair, most lovely of all the lovely, the dear one I carried off on her wedding day, and have cherished ever since. Grant me leave to sleep a little at your side. I am sleepy, and have come hither to rest." Saying this, he laid his shaggy head upon the lady's lap, stretched his long legs out toward the sea, and in a short time sank into such a heavy sleep that his snoring shook the shore. By chance, the woman lifted her eyes and saw the two kings in the tree. She beckoned to them to descend softly. The kings were horror-struck at being discovered. With signs, they begged her to spare them. But after gently lifting the fiend's head from her knees and laying it upon the ground, she rose and spoke to them in a low, earnest voice. "Come down," said she. "You must come down to me." They strove to make her understand that they feared the monster, but she continued in that soft tone. come down. If you will not obey me, I will awake this fiend, and I will bid him to kill you both." That remark struck fear into the hearts of both kings. Trembling, they began to climb carefully down the tree, taking great care not to wake the dreadful demon who slept beneath. When their feet touched the ground, the woman took them each by the hand and led them some distance away among the trees, where she demanded that they commit an indecent act. They refused, but faced with her threats and the danger of being discovered, they reluctantly obeyed. When her desires had been fulfilled, she noticed that each man wore a ring upon his finger and asked for them. Taking both rings in her hand, she reached into her jeweled pouch and drew forth a string threaded with many rings of every kind. Showing it to them, she said, "Do you know what these are?" "No," they replied. "Perhaps you would tell us." "These," she said with a wicked smile, "are the rings of the men who have lain with me, 98 in all. I keep them as souvenirs. By asking you for yours, I have made the number a perfect 100. So you see, despite all the watchfulness and precautions of that hideous demon who guards me so jealously, though he locks me inside a crystal chest and hides me beneath the depths of the sea, it is all for nothing. I always find a way to deceive him. For when a woman's heart is set upon her desire, no husband or lover can prevent her from fulfilling it. The wiser course for men is not to oppose a woman's will, for that, perhaps, is the surest way for her to keep her virtue. Having spoken, she slipped the 2 new rings onto the string with the others. Then she returned to her place, gently lifted the demon's head back upon her lap without waking him, and signaled for the 2 kings to depart. They retraced their steps. When they had gone far enough to be out of sight, King Shahrayar said to his brother Shahzaman, "Well, brother, what do you make of what we have just seen? That demon's mistress is a model of faithfulness, is she not? Truly, nothing can compare with the wickedness of women." "Indeed, my brother," replied Shahzaman, king of Great Tartary. "And surely you must agree that the demon is even more to be pitied than either of us. We have found what we came to seek. Let us return home, and do not let this discovery turn you forever against the company of women. As for me, I know how to guard my heart and keep my trust. I shall not speak of it now, but one day you will hear of me again, and I believe you will follow my example." The emperor agreed, and the 2 kings continued their journey. After 3 nights, they reached their camp once more. The news of the emperor's return spread quickly. At dawn, his courtiers gathered before his pavilion. He received them with uncharacteristic cheer and bestowed gifts upon all. Then, declaring he would travel no farther, he ordered the company to mount and return to the royal palace. Upon arriving, the emperor went straight to the harem. There, he commanded that the queen be bound before him and delivered to the vizier for execution. The minister obeyed without question, not daring to ask what crime the queen had committed. But the emperor's fury was not appeased. He himself took the sword and struck down every one of the queen's attendants. After this terrible vengeance, convinced that no woman on earth could be chaste, and determined to prevent betrayal forever, the king decreed a cruel law. Each night, he would wed a new maiden, and each morning she would be put to death. Thus he swore to act, beginning as soon as his brother departed. Before long, the king of Tartary took his leave, laden with gifts. No sooner had he gone than King Shahriyar ordered his vizier to bring him the daughter of one of his generals. The vizier obeyed. The king lay with her that night, and in the morning commanded her execution, bidding the vizier to find another for the next evening. Though his heart was heavy, the minister dared not disobey. Night after night, he brought the daughters of nobles, merchants, and soldiers, each one married at dusk and slain at dawn. The city soon filled with grief and horror. Everywhere were the sounds of lamentation. Fathers wept for their lost daughters. Mothers trembled for those yet living. No longer were there praises and blessings for the king. Only curses whispered in every home. The vizier, bound by duty, carried out these dreadful commands with despair in his heart. He had 2 daughters. The elder was named Scheherazade, the younger Dinarzade. Both were gifted and virtuous, but Scheherazade surpassed all women in courage and wisdom. She was well read, with a memory so keen that she forgot nothing she had ever learned. She studied philosophy, medicine, history, and the arts, and her verses outshone those of the finest poets of her age. Thus began the tale of the woman whose voice would one day turn death itself into 1,001 nights of wonder. Once upon a time, there lived a young maiden of extraordinary grace and beauty. Yet above all her charms and talents, what shone brightest in her was her steadfast virtue. The Grand Vizier loved his daughter dearly, and indeed, she was worthy of all a father's affection. One evening, as they sat together in quiet conversation, the maiden turned to him and said gently, "Father, I have a request to make of you, a request that lies close to my heart." "My child," replied the vizier, "if what you ask is just and reasonable, I shall not refuse you." "Indeed, nothing could be more just," said Scheherazade. "You will understand when I tell you my reason. I wish to put an end to the terrible cruelty the Sultan inflicts upon the families of our city. I wish to calm the hearts of the mothers who live in constant fear of losing their daughters to his dreadful vow. The vizier sighed deeply. My daughter, your intention is noble, but the evil you wish to stop is beyond remedy. How could your strength alone bring peace to such a storm? Father, Scheherazade replied, since it is through you that the Sultan receives each new bride, I beg you, by the love you bear me, grant me the honor of becoming his wife. The vizier started in horror. Heavens above, he cried. Are you mad, my child? Do you not know the danger of what you ask? Have you forgotten that the Sultan has sworn a solemn oath to wed a maiden each night, only to have her slain at dawn? And yet you wish me to present you to him? Foolish girl, do you not see the doom you invite upon yourself? I know it well, father, said the virtuous Scheherazade calmly, and I do not fear it. If I die with honor. But if I succeed, I shall deliver countless innocent souls from death. No, said the vizier firmly. No matter what you say, I will never consent to see you throw yourself into such peril. Think, my daughter, when the Sultan commands me to strike you down, I must obey. Can you imagine the torment of a father forced to spill the blood of his own child? If you do not fear death for yourself, at least fear the anguish you would bring upon me. But Scheherazade would not be moved. Once more, father, I entreat you to grant my request. Her father's voice grew stern. Your stubbornness drives me to anger. Why must you rush to meet your end? Those who rush into danger without foresight seldom meet a happy fate. I fear, my daughter, that you will suffer the same misfortune as the donkey in the tale I once heard. And what misfortune was that, dear father? Asked Scheherazade softly. The vizier looked at her gravely and said, Listen then, and I shall tell you the story. The Fable of the Donkey, the Ox, and the Farmer. Once upon a time, there lived a wealthy merchant who owned many farms scattered across the countryside. His herds were large, his stables full, and his storehouses always overflowing. In the autumn of his life, he withdrew with his wife and son to one of his farms, choosing to oversee his work with his own hands. Now, this merchant possessed a most curious gift. He could understand the speech of animals. Yet the blessing came with a grave condition. If ever he revealed what he heard to another living soul, he would surely die. And so, though he knew the secret talk of every creature in his barns and fields, he never dared to utter a word of it to anyone. In one stable, there lived an ox and a donkey. One day, as the merchant sat nearby watching his children play, he heard the ox sigh and say to the donkey, "Ah, my friend, how fortunate you are. Your work is light, and your days are easy. They brush your coat until it shines, bathe you, and feed you clean barley and fresh water. The hardest thing you do is carry our master on short trips. Were it not for that, you might spend your whole life in rest and comfort. But I must bear the plow from dawn till dusk. Before midnight has passed, they yoke me once again, and I toil until my legs tremble beneath me. Behind me walks the plowman with his whip, always ready to strike. The rope cuts my neck, my skin bleeds, and when evening falls, I am thrown a heap of dusty hay full of grit and thistles. After a few mouthfuls, I must lie down in my own dung to sleep. Tell me, dear donkey, am I not right to envy you? The donkey listened patiently, and when the ox had finished, replied, Indeed, they say, as foolish as an ox, and now I see why. You let them treat you as they please, and never resist. If you had the courage to match your strength, things would be very different. When they come to yoke you, why not fight back? Lower your horns and charge. Stamp your hooves and bellow until they tremble. And when they bring you bad fodder, sniff at it and refuse to eat. Do as I say, and you will soon see a change in your fate. The ox thanked him warmly, saying, Dear friend, I shall follow your advice exactly. You'll see that I am not so foolish as they think. That evening, the merchant heard it all and kept his counsel. The next morning, when the plowman came to fetch the ox, he found a beast transformed, snorting, stamping, and tossing its head so wildly that the man dared not approach. When he tried to tie it to the plow, the ox lunged, bellowing and thrusting its horns. The plowman fled in alarm and went straight to tell the merchant that the ox seemed sick or bewitched. The merchant, who knew well enough what had happened, smiled to himself and said, Then harness the donkey instead. Let him plow all day in the ox's place, and be sure to make him work hard. So the plowman obeyed. The poor donkey was yoked to the plow and forced to work beneath the sun from morning till night. Unused to such labor, he stumbled and sweated, the whip striking his back, until, by evening, he could scarcely stand. Meanwhile, the ox lay in his stall, content and well-fed, delighting in his cleverness. When the donkey was brought back, limping and exhausted, the ox greeted him cheerfully. Thank you, dear friend, for your wise counsel. Thanks to you, I have eaten my fill and rested all day long. But the donkey said nothing. He was too sore and angry to reply. Fool that I was, he thought bitterly. It's my own carelessness that brought this misery upon me. I once lived in comfort and ease, and now look at me. Unless I can think of some way to escape, I'll work myself to death before the week is out." And so, moaning in pain, the poor donkey collapsed beside the trough, too weary to move, as if death itself had come to claim him. When the vizier had finished his tale, he turned to Scheherazade and said, "My daughter, you are acting just like that foolish donkey. You are walking willingly toward your own doom through sheer stubbornness. Listen to your father's counsel. Rest in peace and safety. And do not bring misfortune upon yourself." But Scheherazade bowed her head and answered softly, "Father, the story you have told does not change my resolve. I shall not rest until I have entered the palace and become the wife of the king." Seeing her unshaken will, the vizier sighed deeply. "Very well," said he. "Since you will not heed me, I must deal with you as the merchant in my story once dealt with his obstinate wife. Listen, and you will understand." Now, this same merchant, knowing that his poor donkey had been cruelly overworked, grew curious to see what might pass between the beast and the ox that shared its stable. So one moonlit evening, after supper, he led his wife out to sit with him beside the pen. And as they came near, they heard the donkey say to the ox, "Friend, tell me, what will you do tomorrow morning when the plowman brings you your feed?" The ox answered, "Why, I shall do just as you taught me. I will draw back, lower my horns, and pretend to be ill. I will act as if I am dying." "Take care," cried the donkey quickly. "Do not do such a thing, or you are lost." For this very afternoon, as our master returned from the fields, I overheard him say something that made me tremble for your life. "What was it?" asked the ox anxiously. "Dear friend, do not hide it from me," the donkey went on. "Our master said to the plowman, 'Since the ox will not eat and can no longer stand, I will have it slaughtered tomorrow. We shall give its meat to the poor, and the hide to the tanner. Do not forget to call the butcher at dawn. That is why I warn you now," said the donkey kindly. "When they bring you straw and hay in the morning, rise at once and eat greedily as if you were starving. Perhaps then our master will think you are well again and spare your life. But if you do not follow my advice, your end is certain." The ox trembled so violently that it bellowed with fear. The merchant, who had been listening unseen, could not help but laugh aloud. His wife turned to him in surprise and said, "What are you laughing at, my husband? Tell me that I may laugh with you." "My dear," said the merchant, "be content that I am merry." "No," she insisted. "You must tell me the cause of your laughter." "I cannot," he replied, "for if I speak a single word of what I heard, I shall die that instant." "You jest," cried his wife angrily. "You make a fool of me. If you refuse to tell me why you laughed, or what the donkey said to the ox, then by heaven and earth, I swear you shall no longer be my husband." So saying, she left him and went into the house, where she sat weeping bitterly all night long. The poor man slept alone. At dawn, when she would not cease her wailing, he said, "My dear, you are unreasonable. What does it matter to you what passed between two dumb beasts? Yet my life depends upon keeping it secret." "I care not," she cried. "I will weep until you tell me all, but if I do, I shall die," said the merchant. "Then so be it," she replied stubbornly. Seeing there was no reasoning with her, the merchant groaned. "Alas, you will grieve yourself to death with this folly. Very well, I will call our children, that they may bid their mother farewell before she dies of sorrow." He summoned his sons and daughters, and even sent for her parents to come. When they were all gathered, he told them the whole matter from beginning to end. They pleaded with the woman to yield and abandon her foolish demand, but she would not listen to any of them. Though her parents pleaded and reasoned with her, their daughter would not be swayed. Neither affection nor authority could soften her resolve. The children, seeing their mother deaf to all good counsel, began to wail until the house was filled with sorrow. The merchant, torn between love and despair, sat alone beside his door, thinking that perhaps he must sacrifice his own life to save the wife he cherished. "Now listen, my daughter," continued the vizier, speaking to Scheherazade. "That merchant kept 50 hens and a single proud rooster. To guard them, he owned a faithful dog. As the merchant sat lost in thought, he heard the dog scolding the rooster, who was busy among his hens. "Shame on you," cried the dog. "How can you dance and crow while our master is near death? Do you not know that the Lord may soon call him away? His wife demands he reveal a secret that, if spoken, will cost him his life. He pities her tears so deeply that he may yield, and all in this house shall be plunged in grief. Yet you strut as though nothing matters." The rooster turned, puffed up with pride, and answered, "And why should I not do what I have always done? Our master is a fool. He has but one wife and cannot keep her in order, while I have 50 hens and every one obeys me. If he had any sense, he would take a stick, lock the door, and teach her obedience with 100 good blows. Then she would never again trouble him with her foolish curiosity." The merchant, hearing these words, sprang to his feet. Seizing a stout staff, he entered the room, barred the door, and did just as the rooster had said. When his wife began to weep, and beg for mercy, he stopped at once. "Enough, enough, my dear," she cried. "Never again will I ask what must not be known." Seeing that her curiosity was cured, the merchant opened the door. The whole household rejoiced to find their mistress gentle and wise at last, and they praised the merchant for restoring peace. "My daughter," said the vizier, "you deserve to be treated as that merchant's wife was." "Father," replied Scheherazade softly, "do not think me stubborn, because I keep my purpose. That story does not frighten me, nor will it turn me from my path. I can tell you many tales that may persuade you not to hinder me. Forgive me, Father, but if you deny my wish, I shall go to the king myself." The vizier sighed deeply. Seeing her unwavering will, he could resist no more. Though his heart was heavy, he went to King Shahryar and said, "Your Majesty, my daughter Scheherazade begs to be brought before you tonight." The king was astonished. "How can you bring your own child to me?" he said. "Sire," the vizier answered, "she offers herself willingly. The fate that awaits her does not frighten her. She wishes only to share your presence, though it be for a single night." "But remember," said the king darkly, "tomorrow morning you must take her life yourself. If you fail, I will take yours instead." "Your will shall be done, my lord," the vizier replied sorrowfully. The king consented, and the vizier returned home with the dreadful news. Yet Scheherazade smiled, as though he had spoken of joy. She thanked her father for granting her desire and comforted him in his grief. "Do not fear, dear father," she said. "Perhaps one day you will rejoice in what you have done." Then she adorned herself in garments of silver and silk. But before leaving, she called her sister Dinarzade and whispered, "Dearest sister, I need your help in a matter of great importance. Tonight, Father will bring me to the palace. When I am before the king, I shall beg him to allow you to share our chamber for this one night. If he agrees, and I believe he will, you must wake me an hour before dawn and say, 'Sister, if you are not asleep, tell me one of your beautiful stories while we wait for morning. I will begin a tale, and by that tale, I hope to deliver our people from fear and sorrow.'" "Gladly, my sister," said Dinarzade. "I will do exactly as you ask." It was the hour of sleep. The Grand Vizier led Scheherazade to the royal palace, and, after delivering her into the king's private chamber, quietly took his leave. When the Sultan found himself alone with her, he commanded her at once to remove her veil. At that moment, he beheld such beauty that his heart faltered within him, for she was radiant beyond compare. But when he saw that her eyes were glistening with tears, he asked her gently the reason for her sorrow. Scheherazade replied softly, "O my lord, I have a sister whom I love as dearly as she loves me. I beg of your majesty one mercy before this night is done. Allow her to remain here beside me so that I may see her face once more and bid her a final farewell." The king, moved by her request, gave his consent and ordered that Dinarzade be brought at once. The girl hastened to the chamber. The Sultan and Scheherazade lay upon a lofty couch, as was the custom of the kings of the East, while Dinarzade rested on a smaller bed close by. An hour before dawn, Dinarzade awoke, remembering her sister's secret command. She whispered softly, "Dearest sister, if you are not yet asleep, I pray you, while we wait for morning, tell me one of those marvelous tales you know so well. Alas, it may be the last time I ever hear your sweet voice." Scheherazade did not answer her sister, but turned to the Sultan and said with humble grace, "My lord, will your majesty permit me to grant my sister's small request?" "Gladly," the king replied. Then Scheherazade smiled, brushed away her tears, and said, "Listen then, dear sister, and you also, O mighty king." And thus, beneath the quiet breath of the fading night, Scheherazade began to tell her first tale. The first night, the merchant and the genie. Once upon a time, your majesty, there lived a very wealthy merchant. His lands, his goods, and his coin were more than could be counted. Many servants tended his house, and from time to time he was forced to travel far to meet with trading partners. One day, an important matter called him away. He mounted his horse, strapped a small chest behind the saddle, and set out with a little hard bread and a few dates for the road. Simple fare, for he must pass through a desert where nothing could be bought. He reached his destination without trouble, and, business concluded, turned his horse homeward. On the fourth day of his journey, the sun beat fierce, and the earth sent up heat. Seeing a clump of trees not far from the road, he steered toward it and meant to rest in its shade a little while. Beneath a walnut tree, there stood a well of clear, trickling water. He dismounted, tethered his horse to a branch, and sat beneath the walnut's root. Opening the little chest, he took out the dry bread and the dates, eating slowly and tossing the date pits here and there. When his simple meal was done, he washed his face and hands and feet, and knelt to say his prayers. While still upon his knees, the strangest thing happened. A towering spirit appeared before him, hair and beard white as threads, and in its hand it held a gleaming sword. The spirit came close and shouted, fierce and terrible, rise up, that I may slay thee with this sword, as thou hast slain my son. Horrified by the spirit's ghastly countenance and that dreadful cry, the merchant trembled and answered, O mercy, what crime have I done against you, that I should die? I beseech you. Thou didst slay my son, the spirit cried. Good God, the merchant begged. How could I have slain thy son? I do not know him. Never have I seen him. Didst thou not but now sit here? The spirit demanded. Didst thou not open thy chest, take thy bread and dates, eat, and fling the pits aside? Truly as you say, the merchant answered, trembling. I cannot deny it. It is for that deed that thou hast slain my son, the spirit said. Thus it happened. While thou wert flinging the pits, my son passed by. One pit struck his eye, and he died. Therefore, I must slay thee. O sir, have mercy, the merchant cried. I swear I meant no harm. If harm has come, it was by accident. I beg thee, spare my life. No, no, the spirit answered, unrelenting. I must slay thee, for thou hast killed my son. With those words, the spirit seized the merchant's arm, flung him face down upon the ground, and raised the sword as if to cleave his head. The merchant wept torrents of tears, thinking of wife and children, pleading his innocence and falling to the ground in the most dreadful supplication. Though the spirit held aloft its sword, it yet paused to hear the merchant through to the end, but no plea could soften it. In vain, the spirit roared. Though thou weep blood from thine eyes, I will slay thee, for thou hast slain my child. Is there no pity left in you? The merchant begged. Wilt thou persist in slaying an innocent man? Even so, I am resolved, the spirit replied. At that moment, Scheherazade stopped her tale, for she looked up and saw that the dawn had come. She knew the king must rise early to say his prayers and attend the court, so she fell silent. Then Dinazad spoke. By heaven, sister, that tale was wondrous. Pray continue. She will tell a finer part yet, Scheherazade answered. You will agree, if the king grants me life for the day, that I may finish the end of the story on the morrow. King Saria, who had listened with great delight, thought to himself, let me wait until tomorrow to hear the finish of this tale. Then it will not be too late to rid myself of the girl. So he decided not to have Scheherazade hanged that very day. He rose, said his prayers, and set about the business of his court. Meanwhile, the vizier was sorely troubled. All night he had not slept. He sighed and groaned for the fate of his daughter, for he would soon have to be the hangman's hand. Saddened and trembling, when he came to the audience, he dared not look the king full in the face. Great was his wonder and his relief when he saw the king enter the hall and give no order for the execution he had so feared. As was his habit, the emperor spent the day attending to affairs of state. But when night fell, he summoned the beautiful Scheherazade to his chamber once more. And so it went. Each evening she shared his bed, and each dawn, before the first light touched the sky, her sister Dinarzade would softly whisper, "My dear sister, if you are not yet asleep, I beg you, while we still await the coming of dawn, finish for me the tale you began last night." Before Scheherazade could even ask for permission, the emperor himself spoke. His curiosity stirred. "Yes, continue the story of the merchant and the spirit. I too would know how it ends." Thus commanded, Scheherazade bowed her head, gathered her thoughts like pearls upon a string, and began once more to weave her tale. The second night, once upon a quiet evening, beneath the pale light of the moon, a merchant stood trembling before a dreadful spirit who had raised his sword to strike. "Mercy, great one," the merchant cried, "spare me but a single moment to speak. Grant me time to return home, to bid farewell to my wife and children, and to divide my estate. For I have not yet made my will, and without it, my death would bring quarrel and grief upon those I love. Allow me 1 year to set all in order, and I swear to return to this very place to face my fate." The spirit's voice was deep and cold as winter stone. "How can I trust your word? What if you flee and never return? By heaven and by earth," said the merchant solemnly, "I swear that I shall come back, even if it means walking from the ends of the world." The spirit's eyes glimmered faintly. "And how long do you need?" 1 year, answered the merchant. "A single year to settle my debts, to make peace with my family, and to taste the joys of life one last time before I depart from it." "Do you swear before the Almighty Himself?" the spirit asked. "I do. May the heavens bear witness." At these words, the spirit vanished, leaving the merchant alone by the well under the shadow of the trees. Heart pounding, half grateful, half terrified, the merchant mounted his horse and rode home. His household, seeing him return, ran out in joy. But their happiness turned to sorrow when he burst into tears instead of open arms. His wife, frightened, asked, "My husband, what sorrow clouds your heart on this day of joy? Tell us, what burden weighs upon you?" He sighed deeply. "Alas, my dear ones, I have but 1 year to live." Then he told them all that had passed, the terrible oath he had made, and the day he must return to die. His wife fell to the ground, tearing her hair, and his children wept aloud until the house echoed with grief. The merchant himself could not bear their cries and wept with them. Never had there been a sadder sight beneath the stars. The very next morning, he began to set his affairs in order. He paid his debts, gave generously to the poor, and set free his servants, both men and women. He divided his wealth among his children and ensured each one would be cared for. To his wife, he returned her dowry and added even more, that she should not suffer want. A year passed swiftly, as years often do when they are most precious. The appointed day arrived. The merchant wrapped his burial shroud, kissed his family farewell, and prepared to meet his fate. The household clung to him, begging to follow, to die with him rather than live without him. But he only said, "My beloved, we must each obey the will of heaven. All who are born must one day die. Let me go in peace." With heavy heart and tear-stained eyes, he left his home and journeyed to the well where the spirit had first appeared. There he dismounted, sat upon the ground, and waited, his soul heavy with sorrow. While he waited, an old man appeared, leading a gentle doe by a silken cord. The two greeted each other politely, and the old man said, "Good sir, why do you sit alone in such a lonely place where spirits roam and men are not safe? The trees look fair, yet this is no place for rest." The merchant told him everything, his vow, his year of labor, and his return to meet death. The old man listened with wonder and said, "Truly, this is a tale most strange. You are bound by an oath before heaven itself. I would not miss the sight of what comes next for all the gold in the world." And so the old man sat beside the merchant, and they spoke quietly together as the sun climbed the sky. But just as dawn's first light broke across the horizon, Scheherazade stopped her tale and smiled softly. "The morning has come, my lord," she said. And the next part of this story is the most marvelous of all. The king, eager to hear more, spared her life for yet another day. The third night. The next night, Dinarzade spoke to her sister, just as she had on the 2 nights before. "My dear sister," she whispered, "if you are not yet asleep, please tell me one of those beautiful tales you know so well." But the Sultan, eager to hear the rest of the story about the merchant and the spirit, commanded Scheherazade to continue. And so she began once more. "O gracious king," she said, as the merchant and the old man leading the doe were speaking, another elder appeared in the distance. Behind him followed 2 black dogs. He greeted them kindly and asked what they were doing in that desolate place. The first old man, the one with the doe, told him everything. The strange fate of the merchant, the vow he had made, and how this very day was the appointed time. The newcomer, finding the tale curious indeed, decided to stay and see how it would unfold. So he sat down beside them. They had scarcely resumed their conversation when a third old man appeared. Seeing the merchant's sorrowful face, he asked what misfortune had befallen him. When he heard the tale in full, he too was amazed and wished to witness the outcome between the spirit and the merchant. So he joined the others, and the three old men waited together. Before long, a thick mist began to rise across the plain, swirling like a dust storm driven by the wind. The haze drew nearer and then dissolved, and from it emerged the mighty spirit. Without a word of greeting, the spirit strode forward, sword in hand, seized the merchant by the arm, and thundered, "Stand up! I must kill you, just as you killed my son." Terrified, the merchant and the old men all began to weep and plead. When the elder with the doe saw the fierce spirit ready to strike the merchant without mercy, he threw himself at the creature's feet, kissed the ground before him, and said, "O great prince of the spirits, I beg you, soften your wrath. Hear me before you act. I will tell you the story of myself and this doe you see before you. If you find my tale more marvelous and strange than that of the merchant you are about to slay, will you grant him 1/3 of his life?" The spirit paused for a moment, considering the request. At last, he replied, "Very well, I agree." The story of the first old man and the hind. The old man spoke. "Allow me to begin the tale. Pray, listen closely. The hind you see yonder was once my distant cousin, and more than that, she was my wife. I married her when she was but 12 years old, so I may say she ought to have regarded me as a father, as well as a cousin and husband. We lived together 30 years without a child. Though she bore me none, I loved and indulged her tenderly. For the sake of having an heir, I bought a female slave. She gave me a son, a bonny little child. My wife, soured by jealousy, took to hating both the slave mother and the child. Alas, when I came to see this hatred, it was already too late. My son grew. When he was 10, I had business that called me away. Before I left, I entrusted both mother and child to my wife, whom I still trusted, asking her to care for them while I was absent for about a year. Yet she, seizing upon my absence to satisfy her rancor, learned witchcraft. When she had gathered the spells she needed for her hideous plot, she led my boy to a lonely place. There, with wicked arts, she turned him into a calf and brought him home to hand over to the herdsman, commanding that he be fed and tended as cattle. Not finished with her madness, she likewise changed the female slave into a cow and delivered her into the keeper's charge. When I returned and asked where my wife and child had gone, she replied, "The female slave is dead. And as for your son, why, I have not seen him these 2 months. Who can say what has become of him?" I grieved sorely at the news of the slave's death. As for my child, he had only vanished, so hope remained that he might yet be found. But 8 months passed since he disappeared, and he did not come home. The festival of Bairam drew near. I bade the herdsman bring me the fattest cow to slaughter for the feast. He obeyed and led forth a fat cow, which, to my sorrow, proved to be the slave mother, the poor mother of my son. I had her tied, and as I prepared to strike, she uttered such piteous lowings, and the tears ran down her face, that I marked it and was strangely moved. I could not bring myself to kill her. I bade the herdsman take her back and bring another beast. My wife stood by at that moment. She trembled when she saw my pity. Not wishing her craft to fail, she cried out, "Sir, what are you doing? Slaughter that cow. There is no other in the fold, better or cleaner for the offering." Yielding to her counsel, I stepped nearer to the beast and stifled my compassion. I had resolved to strike, but the creature grew louder in its cries, and its tears streamed all the more, and again my hand faltered. I handed the mallet to the herdsman and said, "Take it and kill it. Its plaint and its tears tear my heart apart." The herdsman, harder of heart than I, struck the cow dead. Yet when they cut her open, they found nothing but bone, though everyone had seen her fat and fine a moment before. This melancholy thing grieved me deeply. I told the herdsman, "Take that one away. Do with her as you will. Eat her or give her as alms. But if you have a plump calf, bring it to me instead." I did not ask what he meant to do with the cow. After he went away for a while, he returned with a fair, fat calf. Though I did not yet know it to be my own son, my heart was pierced to see the creature. The calf, upon espying me, rushed forward so fiercely that it snapped its tether. It sank upon its knees at my feet, bowing its head to the earth, as though to move me to pity, to beg that I spare it, or to make me know that it was my son. I was moved beyond speech and astonished at this spectacle, more moved than I had been by the cow's tears. A father's feeling, I suppose, rose up within me. I said to the herdsman, "Take this calf home, feed it carefully, and bring me another calf at once." At these words, my wife cried aloud, "What is the matter with you, husband? Hear me. Slaughter this calf, not another." "Madam," I answered, "I will not kill this calf. I will spare it. Do not hinder me." But that wicked woman would not heed me. Her hatred for my son ran so deep that she could not bear to see me save him. She insisted I slay it, and in the end, I was forced to yield. I bound the calf fast and took up the knife. Here Scheherazade paused. The next night she went on. So it was, Your Majesty, she said. The old man led the hind who told the tale to the fiend, and the two old folk and the merchant listened. I had taken up the knife, the old man declared, to cut the throat of my son. And when he turned that tear-streaked face upon me, so piteous in its pleading, I could not bring my hand to it. I let the knife fall to the ground and told my wife that I insisted on killing a different calf, not that one. She tried all manner of persuasion to make me change my mind. Yet, whatever she said could not move me. Still, to satisfy her, I promised that this calf should be reserved for slaughter at the coming festival of Bairam. The next morning, the keeper of my cattle came to me and asked to speak in private. "Master," he said softly, "I bring you news for which I hope you will one day thank me. I have a daughter, a good child, who has learned a little of the secret arts. Yesterday, as I was leading the young calf you refused to have slaughtered back to its stall, she looked at the creature, smiled, and then began to weep. When I asked why she laughed and cried in the same breath, she answered, 'Father, that calf you lead home is none other than the young master himself, the Son of our Lord.' I smiled because he yet lives. I wept because his poor mother, who was yesterday slain, was also transformed by sorcery, turned into a cow. These enchantments were cast by the master's wife, who hated them both with all her heart. That is what my daughter told me, and I have come straight away to tell you." "Great heavens," said the old man. "You may imagine my astonishment. Without delay, I went with the keeper to meet his daughter and question her myself. First, I entered the stall where my son, my poor enchanted child, was kept. He could not speak or answer to my touch, yet from his trembling and his eyes, I was certain it was indeed my boy. When the keeper's daughter arrived, I asked her, 'My child, can you restore my son to his true form?' 'I can,' she replied quietly. 'If you can do this,' I said, 'you shall have all my wealth, everything I possess.' The girl lowered her eyes and answered, 'My lord, my family owes you much already. I will do this, but only upon two conditions. First, that you give me your son's hand in marriage, and second, that you allow me to punish the woman who bewitched them.' 'To the first,' I said, 'I gladly consent. You shall have wealth beyond measure, not only your husband's inheritance, but a fortune of your own. And as for my wicked wife, yes, she deserves punishment indeed. Do as you will with her.' Only, I beg you, do not take her life." "Then," said the girl, her eyes shining, "I shall treat her as she treated your son." "So be it," I said, "but first, restore him to me." She took up a small flask filled with water, murmured strange words under her breath, and spoke to the calf. "If thou wert made by the hand of the Almighty to be as thou art, remain as thou art. But if thou wert once a man, transformed by evil arts, then by his power return now to thine own shape." She sprinkled the water upon the animal, and at once, before my very eyes, the calf changed form and stood revealed as my son, my beloved child. "My son, my precious boy," I cried, embracing him with tears of joy. "Heaven itself has sent this maiden to break thy curse and avenge thy mother's wrongs. In gratitude, thou shalt wed her, as I have promised." My son consented gladly, for he too was struck by her courage and grace. Before their marriage, the young woman used her magic once more. She transformed my cruel wife into a hind, the very doe you see beside me now. I asked that she take this gentler shape, not some hideous beast, so that our household might bear the sight of her without horror. But my happiness did not last. My son was soon widowed, and in sorrow he left our home to travel far away. Many years have passed without word of him, and I set forth to seek him myself. I could not bear to leave the hind in another's care, so wherever I go, I lead her beside me. And that, gracious Lord, is my tale, the story of myself and this enchanted creature. "Indeed," said the Spirit, "it is a most marvelous and wondrous tale. For the telling of it, I grant remission of 1/3 of the merchant's guilt." Then Scheherazade continued, "When the old man with the hind had finished his story, the second old man, the one with the 2 black dogs, stepped forward and said to the Spirit, 'My Lord, I too have a tale to tell, a tale of what befell me and these 2 black hounds. I dare say it is even stranger than the one you have just heard. And if it pleases you, perhaps you will grant another 1/3 of the merchant's pardon when I am done?' So be it," said the Spirit. "If your story proves more wondrous than that of the hind, I shall indeed grant it." And so the second old man began his tale. The story of the second old man and the 2 black dogs. O great Spirit among spirits, allow me to speak. For the 2 black dogs you see beside me, and I myself, were once 3 brothers. I am the youngest. When our father passed away, he left each of us 1,000 sequins. With that small inheritance, we all began the same trade. Merchants, eager to make our fortune. Not long after we opened our shops, my eldest brother, the first of the two dogs, decided to journey abroad. He sold all he owned and filled his ship with goods to please foreign buyers. He sailed away, and for a full year we heard nothing of him. Then, one day, a ragged man appeared at my door. Thinking him a beggar, I greeted him kindly. "May God help you, traveler." "And may he bless you as well," the man replied. "Do you not know me?" I looked closer and gasped, "Brother, how could I ever have recognized you in such a state?" I took him in, bathed him, gave him fresh clothes, and comforted him as best I could. When I saw that my business had prospered and my fortune had doubled to 2,000 sequins, I divided it at once. "Brother," said I, "take 1,000. Think no more of your losses." He wept with gratitude, took the money, and soon began trading again. We lived together once more in peace and affection, as we had in our youth. But after a time, the second brother, the other black dog you see, grew restless. He too wished to sell his goods and travel. My elder brother and I tried to dissuade him, but his heart was set. He departed, only to return a year later as poor and broken as the first. Once more, I clothed him, fed him, and shared with him another 1,000 sequins I had earned through diligence and good fortune. Thus, he was able to rebuild his life, and again, we lived in harmony. Years passed, until one day, both brothers came to me with a proposal. They wished me to join them on a trading voyage. I refused at first. "You have both seen what came of your journeys. Why should mine end differently?" Yet they pressed and pleaded for years, 5 full years, until I could resist no longer. When I agreed, I learned to my sorrow that they had squandered all they possessed, even the sums I had once given them. I said nothing, only smiled and divided my wealth once more. Of the 6,000 sequins I had, I kept 3,000 hidden safely away, and took the other 3 to trade with them. So we set sail together. After 2 months, we reached a distant port and sold our goods for a fine profit, especially I, whose trade returned tenfold. We bought rare wares of that land and made ready to depart. It was then, walking along the shore, that I met her. A woman of radiant beauty, dressed in humble rags. She knelt before me, kissed my hand, and begged me to take her as my wife and let her sail home with me. I refused, but her words were gentle and full of grace. She said her heart was pure, her faith steadfast, and her love sincere. In the end, I yielded. I bought her fine garments, wed her properly, before witnesses and brought her aboard our ship. During the voyage, I found her not only fair, but wise and kind. My love for her grew deeper each day, but my brothers, seeing how fortune and joy favored me, were consumed with envy. One night, while we slept, they crept upon us and hurled us both into the sea. Yet my wife was no mortal woman. She was a fairy, blessed with powers no storm could drown. She caught me as I fell and carried me safely to an island. When dawn broke, she spoke gently, "My beloved, I saved your life as repayment for the kindness you showed me. Know that I am a fairy. When I first saw you upon the shore, preparing to sail, I loved you at once. To test your heart, I appeared in rags. You treated me with honor, and I am glad to have found in you a true soul. But your brothers, they have wronged you greatly, and I cannot rest until I have punished them." And thus began the part of the tale where mercy and vengeance would meet. But that, dear listener, is a story for another night. Soft music fades. The tale closes like a dream. I listened to the fairy with a heart full of reverence, and I thanked her again and again. "But madam," I added, "for the sake of my two brothers, I beg your mercy. Though they have wronged me grievously, I am not so cruel as to wish them dead." I told her everything I had done to them, and my tale only stoked her anger the more. She cried out, "I must fly at once to those traitors and avenge you this very instant. I will sink their ship and drag them down to the ocean's deepest floor. Pray, no. Oh, beautiful lady, do not do that," I begged. "Temper your wrath. Remember, they are my brothers. I must ever do what little good I can for them." My words soothed the fairy's fury. Before I had finished speaking, she cast a spell and set me back upon the flat of my roof, then vanished. I slipped down, opened the house, and dug up the 3,000 gold coins I had hidden away. I went to my old shop, unlocked the door, and entertained my neighbors and fellow traders who had come to celebrate my return. When I came back to my house, 2 black dogs ran out to greet me, wearing the humbled look of guilty creatures. I could not understand what this meant, and was baffled. The fairy appeared then, and explained plainly, "Do not be astonished at finding these 2 dogs in your home. They are your 2 brothers." I shook with fear at her words, and begged to know by what charm they had been made so. She answered, "I did it myself. No, rather, a fairy friend I called upon performed the deed. I also bade her sink their ship. You have lost your cargo at sea, but I shall make you whole again. As for your 2 brothers, I shall condemn them to to live for 10 years in this form. Their hearts are so base that to be dogs is but their due. After telling me where to find her, should I ever need her, she disappeared. 10 years passed, and I went seeking the fairy. As I passed along, I came upon a merchant sitting beside an old man leading a doe, and I stopped with them. That, then, is my story, O keeper of the gods. Is it not a strange one? It is strange, the deity answered, and therefore I grant this merchant a third part more remission of his guilt. No sooner had the second old man finished his tale than a third rose to speak. He too begged the god, if his story should prove stranger than the previous two, let the merchant be pardoned a further third. The god agreed and promised, just as before. The third old man told his tale. I shall not attempt to repeat it, for I do not know it well myself. But I am certain it surpassed the former two by far. Its many wondrous and curious incidents even astonished the deity. When he had finished, the god said to the merchant, I consent to remit another third of your guilt. You owe great thanks to these three elders. Without the aid of their tales, your life would have been lost. With that, the god vanished, and everyone was satisfied. The merchant thanked the old women with all his heart. They rejoiced that he had been saved. Then they parted, each going his own way. The merchant returned to his wife and children, and lived in peace until his death. But, Your Majesty, Scheherazade added, though all the tales I have told the king thus far are pleasing, they cannot compare to the fisherman's story. Seeing Scheherazade fall silent, Dinarzade hastened. Sister, there is still time. Please tell the tale of the old fisherman. I am certain the emperor will allow it. King Saria consented, and so Scheherazade went on to tell it as follows. The story of the fisherman. Once upon a time, there lived an old fisherman, poor, frail, and weary from the years, who could scarcely earn enough to feed his wife and 3 hungry children. Each morning, before the first blush of dawn, he walked to the sea with his torn net slung over his shoulder, and he had made a vow to himself. Never would he cast it more than 4 times a day. One morning, he set out while the moon still glimmered above the waves. Reaching the shore, he laid aside his worn cloak and threw his net into the dark waters. When he drew it back, it felt heavy in his hands, and his heart leapt with hope. Perhaps this time fortune would smile upon him. But when the net broke the surface, there was no fish within. Only the bleached bones of a donkey tangled in the mesh. With a sigh, he patched the torn places, his spirit sinking with every knot he tied. Still, he would not give up. He cast the net a second time, Again it came back heavy, and again his heart dared to believe, but this time it was a great wooden barrel, filled only with stones and mud. The old man groaned and cried out, "O fate, why do you despise me so? Have I not toiled enough? Have I not prayed enough? You show kindness to the wicked, yet strike down those who do no harm. You lift up the cruel and cast down the good." With trembling hands, he flung the barrel aside and washed the net clean of filth. Then, with one last breath of resolve, he cast it for the third time. Only shells and seaweed came back to mock him. His heart sank to its deepest sorrow, and he nearly wept there upon the sand. But though despair weighed upon him, he did not forget his morning prayer. Lifting his eyes to the pale sky, he whispered, "O Lord, you know that I cast my net only 4 times each day. I have done so thrice in vain. Grant me this last mercy. Let the sea favor me, as once you calmed the waters for Moses of old." When his prayer was done, he threw his net the 4th and final time. It came up heavy again, yet no fish wriggled inside. Instead, he found an old brass bottle, sealed tight with lead and marked with a strange royal seal. Intrigued, he turned it over in his hands, feeling its weight. Perhaps, he thought, it holds something precious within. I shall sell it to the metal smith and buy bread for my children. He shook it beside his ear, but no sound came forth. The seal was ancient, the lead cover crusted with salt. Taking his knife, he pried it open with care. Nothing fell out, but as he peered inside, a thin wisp of smoke curled from the mouth, then more and more, until the smoke poured forth in great clouds that rose to the heavens and spread across the shore like mist. The old man stumbled back in terror as the smoke thickened and darkened, swirling upon itself until it took the shape of a colossal figure, a giant of dreadful height, his shadow covering the sea. The fisherman's knees trembled beneath him. Then, in a voice like rolling thunder, the creature cried, "Solomon, great prophet of the Most High, forgive me. I will never again defy your command." Hearing this, the fisherman gathered his courage and said, "O mighty spirit, Solomon has been gone these 18 centuries, and we live now in the last of days. Tell me, who are you? And why were you imprisoned in this bottle?" The giant turned upon him with proud, flaming eyes. "Mortal, you dare address me without reverence? Watch your tongue before I tear you apart." The old man answered calmly, "Should I call you reverently, then? Or should I call you a lucky owl instead?" The genie's eyes flashed. "Silence! Speak with respect before I strike you down." The fisherman's voice quavered, but held firm. "Strike me down? And for what, mighty one? I freed you from your prison. Have you forgotten already?" "I have not forgotten," said the genie, "but gratitude will not save you. I have one mercy to offer you. Only one." "And what mercy is that?" asked the fisherman. The spirit's lips curled into a dreadful smile. "I grant you the choice," he said, "to decide how you will die. But tell me," said the old fisherman, "what have I done to offend you? Is this the way you reward the good deed I have done for you?" "I can do no otherwise," replied the spirit. "If you do not believe me, then listen carefully to my story. I was once a mighty spirit who rebelled against the power of heaven. All the other spirits bowed before Solomon, the great prophet of the Most High, and served him faithfully. Only 2 of us refused, Saka and I. In his wrath, that king of wisdom sent Asaph, son of Barachiah, his vizier, to capture me. The command was obeyed. Asaph took me by force and brought me before Solomon's throne. The son of David ordered me to renounce my ways, to submit to his command, and acknowledge his authority. Proud and defiant, I refused. I would rather endure his hatred than swear allegiance against my will. So, to punish me, he sealed me inside this very vessel, and with his own hand pressed upon its leaden lid the divine seal engraved with the name of God. Then he gave the vessel to one of his obedient spirits, commanding him to cast me into the depths of the sea. Thus began my long imprisonment. In the 1st century of my captivity, I swore that whoever freed me would be made rich beyond measure. Even after death, their descendants would prosper. But 100 years passed, and no one came. In the 2nd century, I vowed to open all the hidden treasures of the earth to my deliverer. Yet again, no one appeared. In the 3rd century, I promised that whoever freed me would become a mighty king, with my spirit at his side, ready to grant 3 wishes each day. But still, no one released me. At last, enraged by my endless confinement, I swore that whoever freed me from then on would die by my hand, without mercy, and their only choice would be the manner of their death. That is why, old man, I now grant you this choice." These words filled the fisherman with terror. "Wretched me," he cried. "Why did I come to this cursed place to help such an ungrateful being? Have mercy, noble spirit. Break your cruel oath and spare my life. If you forgive me, heaven itself will forgive you. Grant me life, and the Almighty will guard you from all harm." "No," thundered the spirit. "You must die. Choose the death you prefer, and I will make it swift." The fisherman's heart sank. He pitied himself less than he pitied his 3 children, who would soon be left orphaned and destitute. Desperate, he sought a way to soften the spirit's wrath. "My lord," he said humbly, "remember the good I have done you, and take pity." "I told you," replied the spirit coldly. "It is precisely for that deed that I must destroy you." "How strange," said the fisherman. "Who would repay kindness with vengeance so cruelly? There is an old saying that those who do good to the unworthy shall meet an evil reward. I once thought that proverb false, but now I see it is sadly true." "Enough talk," the spirit interrupted. "Your words cannot change my purpose. Speak quickly. How shall you die?" In his distress, the fisherman's mind turned cunning. "Well then," said he, "if I must die, I submit to the will of heaven. But before I choose my death, I beg you, by the sacred name engraved upon the seal of Solomon, son of David, answer one question honestly." At the mention of the divine name, the spirit trembled. "Ask, then," he said. The fisherman asked softly, "Is it true that you were imprisoned in this bottle? Can you swear before God that it is so?" "I swear it by the Almighty," said the spirit, "that it is true." "But I cannot believe it," said the fisherman. "How could that small bottle contain your vast body? It is impossible." "I swear again," cried the spirit, "that it is so. I was confined within, just as you see me now. You still doubt my word?" "Indeed," said the fisherman, "I shall never believe it unless I see it with my own eyes." The spirit laughed in pride, and in that instant, his form dissolved into vapor. A dark smoke poured across the shore, curling and coiling until it slipped back into the narrow bottle. Then the voice of the spirit echoed from within. "Now, fisherman of little faith, do you believe?" Without a word, the old man seized the lid, clapped it swiftly over the mouth of the vessel, and cried, "Now it is you who shall beg, and you who shall choose your fate. Shall I hurl you back into the sea where I found you? I will build a hut here and warn every fisherman who passes. Beware the evil spirit who slays those who free him." The spirit raged inside the bottle, struggling to escape. But the sacred seal of Solomon held fast. Seeing himself trapped, he tried to speak sweetly. "Good fisherman, take care. Do not do as you have said. I was only jesting, merely testing you." The fisherman laughed. "Once you were the greatest of spirits, but now you are the smallest. Your lies cannot save you. Back to the sea you shall go, to remain until the end of days. I begged for mercy in the name of God, and you refused. Now I shall treat you as you treated me." Then the spirit pleaded desperately, "Open the bottle. Free me, I beg you, and I promise to reward you richly." "You treacherous creature," said the fisherman. "If I were fool enough to trust you again, I would deserve my fate. You would kill me as surely as the Greek king slew his physician Douban. But since you seem so eager to hear it, let me tell you that story." The story of the Greek king and the physician Douban. Once upon a time, in the ancient land of Zuman, within the kingdom of Persia, there reigned a mighty king whose people were of Greek descent. This king, though powerful and wealthy, was afflicted with a dreadful disease: leprosy. Every physician in his realm had tried their skill to cure him, yet none could bring relief. When all hope within the palace seemed lost, a stranger arrived at court, a learned man known as Douban the physician. He had journeyed from a faraway country and was famed for his wisdom and mastery of the healing arts. He had studied every medical book in Greek, Persian, Turkish, Arabic, Latin, Syriac, and Hebrew. He knew the virtues and poisons of every herb and plant that grew upon the earth. Hearing of the king's suffering, Douban dressed himself in fine robes and sought an audience with his majesty. Bowing low before the throne, he spoke gently. "Your Majesty, I have learned that none among your healers has been able to cure your affliction. If you will grant me leave to try, I promise to heal you completely, without a single potion to drink or salve to apply." The Greek king, astonished and full of hope, replied, "If your words be true, and you can indeed do what none before you could, I shall make you rich beyond measure. You shall sit among my most favored companions and want for nothing. But tell me, can you truly heal me without medicine or surgery?" "Yes, Your Majesty," Douban answered calmly. "By heaven's grace, tomorrow you shall see the proof." That very night, Douban prepared a hollow polo stick, into which he placed a secret remedy he had concocted. He also crafted a wooden ball for the game. The next morning, he presented himself before the king and said, "Ride out, O king, to the playing ground. Take this stick and this ball and play until your body is warmed and your hands begin to sweat. The heat of your touch will draw the remedy through the handle into your flesh. When you have sweated well, return to your palace, bathe, and rest. By dawn tomorrow, your sickness will be gone." The king did as he was told. Mounting his horse, he struck the ball across the field, and his courtiers joined in the game. They played long and hard beneath the sun until the king's garments were drenched in sweat. Then he returned to his palace, bathed thoroughly, and rested as Douban had instructed. When morning came, the king awoke to find himself wholly cured. His skin was clear, his strength restored, and the leprosy had vanished as though it had never been. Filled with joy, he dressed and went to his throne. His courtiers gathered to behold the miracle. When they saw their sovereign healthy again, they shouted praises and rejoiced greatly. Then Douban entered the hall and bowed before the throne. The king called him near, seated him at his side, and praised him before all the nobles. That day, the court feasted in celebration. The king dined with the physician at his own table, honored him with splendid robes, and gifted him 2,000 gold coins. From that day forth, he showered him with gifts, for he could not express enough gratitude for the man who had saved his life. But envy took root in one heart. The king's vizier, a man greedy, jealous, and full of malice, seeing how much favor the physician enjoyed, the vizier burned with hatred. Fearing his influence, he plotted to destroy him. One day, he came secretly before the king and whispered, "My lord, it is perilous for a ruler to place blind trust in one whose loyalty is unproven. This physician, whom you honor so highly, is no friend of yours. He is a traitor from Greece, sent here to harm you." The king frowned. "What is this you say? You accuse the man who saved my life? Why would one who could have let me die instead choose to heal me?" But the vizier persisted. "Your Majesty, I speak only out of duty. Beware the man who flatters your ear while plotting in shadow. It is known he left his homeland with secret intent to come here and strike you down when you least expect it." The king shook his head. "You are blinded by envy. Douban is the noblest and most virtuous man alive. Through his wisdom, I live today. Were he truly treacherous, he would have let my illness claim me. No, vizier, speak of this no more. Instead, know this: from this day forward, I grant the good physician a pension of 1,000 gold coins each month for life. Even if I gave him half my kingdom, it would not repay what I owe him." The vizier bowed, but bitterness coiled deeper in his heart. "Forgive my boldness, Your Majesty," he said. "But do you recall what the wise counselor once told King Sinbad to dissuade him from slaying his son?" The king raised an eyebrow. "And what tale was that?" The vizier replied, "It was the story of how the counselor sought to warn his lord against rash judgment. A tale I beg leave to tell Your Majesty now." Thus begins another tale within the tale, just as the storytellers of old would weave one story into the next beneath the moonlit skies of ancient Persia. The story of the husband and the parrot. Once upon a time, there was a man who had a wife so beautiful that he could hardly bear to be away from her. He loved her so deeply that even the thought of leaving her side filled him with unease. But one day, urgent business called him to a distant land, and he had no choice but to go. Before setting out, he went to the marketplace and bought a parrot. Not just any parrot, but one known for speaking the tongue of men and recounting everything it saw. "While I am gone," said the man, "keep this bird in your chamber and care for it well. It will watch over the house." And so he departed. When he returned, his first question was not for his wife, but for the parrot. "Tell me, my clever friend," he said, "what happened here while I was away?" The bird, faithful to its nature, told him many things it had seen and heard, things that cast dark suspicion upon the lady. The husband's love turned bitter, and he scolded his wife cruelly. The poor woman, bewildered, suspected that one of her servants had betrayed her. But all swore loyalty, and soon it was clear that the parrot alone had spoken. Furious and clever, she devised a plan to punish the meddlesome creature, and at the same time, to win back her husband's trust. The next time her husband went away for a day, she called her maids and gave them strange orders. One was to grind grain beneath the parrot's cage all night long. Another was to pour water from above so it would seem to rain. And a third was to wave a bright lamp before the cage as though lightning were flashing. The servants obeyed, and all night long the parrot blinked and shivered, thinking the heavens were in a storm. When morning came and the master returned, he asked, "What happened last night, my little watcher?" The parrot puffed its feathers and said, "Ah, master, the rain and thunder were dreadful. I barely slept at all." But the man knew well there had been no storm. In that instant, he decided the parrot had lied before as well, that his wife had been slandered unjustly. In a fit of anger, he dragged the poor bird from its cage and struck it dead upon the floor. Later, the neighbors told him the truth. The parrot had spoken honestly, and his wife's deceit had been real. But regret came too late, for nothing could bring back the bird, whose only fault had been its truthfulness. When the tale was ended, the king said, "So you see, my Grand Vizier, how easy it is to mistake truth for lies and punish the innocent. You would have me kill the good physician Douban, though he has done no wrong. I will not act in haste and repent like that foolish husband who slew his faithful parrot." But the vizier, burning with envy, would not yield. "A parrot's death is a small thing," he replied coldly. "Better to destroy an innocent man than to let a guilty one live and strike at his sovereign. My lord, it is loyalty, not malice, that drives my warning. Yet if I am wrong, let my punishment be as terrible as that of the Grand Vizier of old." The Greek king, intrigued, said, "And what was that punishment?" "If your majesty will allow," answered the vizier, bowing low, "I shall tell you the story."